Hey everyone, welcome back to the GH Spoilers channel. Today we're diving into some crazy stuff headed for Port Charles. It's looking like things are going to get wild and really mess with some of our favorite relationships and ongoing stories. Things are really going to heat up in the next few weeks as February sweeps are here, and there will be lots of deep feelings, risky secrets, and big surprises that will change everything for everyone. Things are really heating up in Port Charles. It's wild how all these different stories are finally coming together in ways no one saw coming. Tracy, the family's main lady, always ready with a witty remark and some clever advice, comes right out to help when things are getting really crazy. She seems to be giving advice to Molly Lansing Davis, who's going through some really tough times personally. Things between Molly and her partner are really tough right now. Their communication problems might just ruin everything they've created. Tracy showed up just when Molly really needed her. Molly was in a tough spot and couldn't think straight. She needed someone experienced to help her clear her head. Tracy's advice for Molly will probably come from all her years of dealing with relationships and learning lessons, giving Molly a fresh way to look at things. Charlotte Cassadine is really trying to protect her dad, and she's getting super worried about Nina Reeves always being around Valentine. This little girl is really feeling protective, so she just has to give a warning about what she thinks Nina's secret plans are. Charlotte's always been pretty switched on for her age, and when you think about her and Nina's messy past, her worries aren't totally out of line. But Valentine is stuck in the middle, trying to balance his daughter's worries and his own messy feelings about Nina. Instead of just agreeing with Charlotte right away, Valentine will nudge his daughter to think things over with an open mind. Maybe she could even talk to Nina face to face before making up her mind. Valentine's going to have his hands full with this father-daughter business. He'll need to really use his diplomatic skills to show Charlotte he gets where she's coming from, but also keep things from blowing up. So the big question is if Charlotte's actually going to listen to her dad, or if she's just going to do her own thing and maybe stir up even more trouble. Things are changing fast for the Port Charles Police Department. Dante Falconeri just got an offer that could totally shift where his career is headed. They're offering me the permanent police commissioner job, and honestly, we really need some steady leadership right now. Things are getting really tricky with Anna Devane, and people are starting to wonder if she can even do her job anymore. So the department really needs someone who's honest, knows their stuff, and who everyone in town looks up to. Dante really shows these traits. He's proven himself over and over with his dedication to justice and his moral compass that never wavers. He's got a knack for cracking tough cases, and he knows how to handle the tricky situations involving both the cops and the deep mob ties in Port Charles. That makes him the perfect person for a spot like this. But if I took on this role, I'd be stepping into a huge responsibility at a really tough time for the department. Dante's got a big choice ahead. He's gonna have to really think about what he'd be giving up personally versus what he could gain professionally. Jason Morgan gets totally sucked into this whole Anna mess when Alexis Davis drops some info on him that really freaks him out. The latest news about Anna is seriously worrying. It seems she's in a lot more danger than we first thought. Alexis knows when things are getting out of hand, and she believes Jason is exactly the person to call on because of his particular skill set and unwavering loyalty. That tip she gives is going to send Jason down a road that sure looks like it'll lead to some big fights and dicey situations. When it comes to those he sees as family, his protective side kicks in big time. He will act quickly no matter what it might cost him personally. Lucas Jones just found out something huge, something that's totally going to turn his world upside down. He's in for a big surprise, and it could be all about how things are changing with Marco Rios. Or maybe it's something else entirely, something totally unexpected. Nobody knows exactly what this bombshell is yet, which just makes things more tense. Lucas has been trying to find happiness for a long time after going through so many personal struggles. Whatever this shock means for him, it really shakes him, and he goes straight to Elizabeth Baldwin for help. Elizabeth, a true confidant who's been through her own share of life-changing events, will be there for Lucas. She'll be the steady support he needs to get through this tricky period. They'll probably talk a lot about how tricky trust is what love really means, and how much guts it takes to deal with stuff that's just plain uncomfortable. Lucas and Elizabeth grow closer as they deal with this mess. Elizabeth really shines, giving that down-to-earth advice you only get from someone who's seen it all in Port Charles. Everyone in Port Charles has been waiting for Maxie Jones to wake up. It's a really big deal. When she finally opens her eyes on Thursday, February 12th, the emotional reunion waiting for her just doesn't make any rational sense. Seeing Nathan West, her husband she thought was gone for good, right there in front of her is going to stir up a whole bunch of mixed feelings. She'll be a mess of emotions, shock, joy, confusion, disbelief, all duking it out inside her as she tries to wrap her head around the impossible. Nathan is alive. Nobody really knows what happened with him dying and coming back. It's all a big mystery. But for Maxie, none of that matters right then. All she cares about is having the love of her life back. It's going to be one of those reunions where you feel everything all at once. Sweet, a lot to take in. There'll be a bunch of silent questions about what happens next. But Maxie is waking up when things are really messy, especially with all the stuff Nathan's caught up in right now. Nathan West is in a tough spot emotionally. He needs to talk to Lulu Spencer, and it's probably going to be pretty awkward. But it's something that has to happen. What happened with Nathan and Lulu when Maxie was out cold? We can't just pretend that chemistry and good feeling isn't still there, even if things are different now. Things just kind of grew between them when they were both going through a tough emotional time. And what they feel for each other is totally real and runs deep. With Maxie up and about ready to get back to their life, Nathan and Lulu really need to figure out where things are between them. They're going to need to sit down and be really honest about how they feel, what they're committed to, and what comes next. No one wants to cause pain, but no matter what happens here, someone's heart is going to get broken. This love triangle is getting really messy, and it feels like everyone involved is just stumbling through feelings they've never dealt with before. So Nathan met Britt Westbourne too, which just made this whole messy thing even more complicated. When he tells Britt some shocking news probably about how much he cares for Lulu, he's walking into a sticky situation without even realizing it. Britt's feelings about Lulu are pretty messed up, so she was probably the absolute last person Nathan should have told all this to. Britt probably won't take Nathan's news well at all. Thinking about her past with Lulu and how she just lets her feelings take over, I can't imagine she'll be supportive. This news could really shake things up, causing a ripple effect through all sorts of relationships in Port Charles. Britt might just react out of jealousy and pain, making choices that aren't exactly rational. Michael really tried his best to make Valentine's Day special for Jacinda, putting all his effort into making it super romantic, hoping it would just blow her away. He really put a lot of thought into building a future with Jacinda, which shows how much he genuinely cares. But there are some concerning signs that maybe they don't see their relationship the same way. Michael might think he's being romantic, but Jacinda could see things totally differently. She might have other ideas about what's appropriate or even what their relationship is. When their ideas don't quite match up, it could lead to a really awkward, even disappointing Valentine's Day. It might even show that they're just not compatible deep down. It's still up in the air if they'll be able to close that gap, or if this romantic trip will just show that they're really not on the same page. Willow Kane keeps up her really disturbing act, pretending to be a good wife to Drew Kane, even as she secretly drugs him and makes sure he can't do anything. This whole deception is clearly taking a massive psychological toll, but Willow isn't backing down from her messed up plan at all. She put on a show like an Oscar-winning loving spouse looking after her sick husband, but the stakes were too high, and her methods were too dangerous for that kind of reward. She gives Drew meds all the time, so he's constantly in a fog. That way he can't really understand what's going on or fight back at all. This story really reminds you of Misery by Stephen King, doesn't it? Willow is totally like that obsessed captor, convinced she's doing everything out of love. But keeping up this lie needs non-stop watching, and it looks like her carefully built front might be starting to crack. Kai Taylor hanging around Drew and Willow's place is a real wild card. It could totally mess up Willow's whole plan, because Kai's got a medical background and he's super observant that makes him a real threat to Willow's plans. When he starts asking questions about the medicine Willow gives Drew and why she says he's still out of it, he gets even more suspicious. The types of drugs, how much to give, and when to give them. Kai might see all these things and think they just don't add up for real medical care. He's getting a bit worried, which might make him dig deeper. He could look up the meds to see if they fit normal treatments, or even talk to other doctors about it. If Kai brings up his worries to Willow, she'll really have to pull out all the stops with her acting, you know? Really sell the lie convincingly, because she'll be put on the spot. It's tough to lie to someone who knows all about medicine, especially since they're medical professionals. One wrong step and everything could unravel. Drew's really hoping Kai steps in. It's his only shot at getting out of this mess. But Willow, she's not going down without a fight. She'll do everything to keep her secret safe and stay in charge.